HeavieTalk is back for another Friday episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome to HeavieTalk. I'm your girl Heavie. I am back with another episode of HeavieTalk, here to serve you of some more straight talk and no chaser. On this episode, as always, we have quite a bit that we have to get into, but I'm going to try to keep the vibes light, just like I did on the last episode, because the past couple episodes have been very, very heavy. So we're going to try to keep it heavy. We're going to get into Senator Tommy Tuberville. I'm going to give you an update on Tommy. This is the U.S. Senator who said that U.S. President Biden is trying to destroy the military by trying to get rid of U.S. supremacists, U.S. extremists. His brother has something to say about that. He may be a little bit upset with those comments. We're also going to get into a bit of sports, talking about these NBA players who are going overseas. Some pretty decent players are now going overseas. Let's get into it. Can you guess? Well, former NFL running back said he used to get high, smoke a J, roll up before a game. Can you guess who? Let's get back to Andrew Reese. Andrew, get into the bag, Reese. Let's talk about those NIL deals again. I'm going to tell you about NCAA football coach who said that he has a problem with these college athletes making more than doctors with these NIL deals. How ironic. Let's get into his salary. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Barstool owner, the same young man, the same guy who said something about Andrew Reese during the Caitlin Clark debacle, maybe calling her a classless piece of SHIT, that man. He's done something again that if you're Black, may be a bit racially insensitive. All of that and more on this episode of HeavieTalk, straight talk, no chaser. But first, I have to give you your weekly word, your motivation, because as always, I like to give you some motivation, some inspiration to start your day, your weekend, wherever you're at, whatever day, time, mood, vacation, off on the right notes. Our weekly word, the word for today is action. I often hear people talk about manifestation. Manifestation is great, but it also requires action. What actions are you taking to set yourself up for success? After manifestation, it's time to start putting the work in. Snap into action. Now, I'll talk about me specifically. I am completely guilty. I will manifest something. I might talk about something. I might pray about something. But sometimes I be lacking. I don't actually take the steps and do my part in actually making what I want to happen come to real life. So that's my urge. That's my request for you. While you're doing your manifestation, well, words are very powerful because I always say words are very powerful. Be careful about what you're speaking because you just never know. So while you can speak power and can speak blessings and success over your life, while you're also doing that speaking, what actions are you taking to make that happen? Because just words alone aren't going to get it done. That's my word. Hope it was helpful, and follow at HeavieTalk for daily words. Let's get into this episode. Did you know that we are 14 days into the 2023 Juneteenth Business Expo presented by The Black Blog, and HeavieTalk Media, my brand. So if you're not familiar, annually, my brands, The Black Blog, and HeavieTalk Media host an annual expo where all products and services are offered at 1865 in honor of Juneteenth. So if you'd like to support or participate, I have 3 ways. You ready? Shop. You can shop from June 17th to June 19th for 1865. Check out our vendors, see what they're offering. You might find something that you like. It's also Father's Day weekend. Get your father or grandfather or father figure a nice gift. Second, share. Sharing is free 99. Tell a friend, family, or loved one about the expo. They can tell them about them as a vendor, depending on when you're hearing this. Tell them about it as a shopper, depending on when you hear this. Third, but not least, You can become a vendor. Depending on when you hear this, you may be able to actually become a vendor and get you some coin. So go check it out, Juneteenth Business Expo.site. Learn all about the expo and how you can support, become a vendor, become a customer, become a shopper, whatever it is, go check it out. Might see something that you like. This week was the anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Now, I often talk about how I learned so much about my history just from the Black blog, because with my platform, the Black blog, I post daily Black history facts. So with that, I do a lot of research and trying to find a fact for every single day. And a lot of what I know about civil rights leaders and historical events are from my own personal research, not from schooling, elementary, or high school. So in my own research, I learned about the Tulsa Race Massacre. Now, maybe you've heard about it or were told about it, but you heard about it in relation to Black Wall Street. So with the story, I'll say the story is there's a similar origin to Emmett Till along those lines. You know the Emmett Till story. So a white mob, thousands of white people marched into a predominantly Black neighborhood known as Greenwood. So in this neighborhood, it was full, it was bustling with Black businesses, whether it was theaters, churches, hospitals, doctor's office, law firms. It was full of any kind of Black business that you could think of, and Black people lived there. So it became known as Black Wall Street. This was known to Black people and to white people. So in this event, on May 30th, or May 31st through June 1st, white people marched down Black Wall Street and just burnt down nearly everything. During that time, more than 1,200 Black-owned houses, numerous businesses, a school, a hospital, and dozens of churches were burned down. That's the article that I read said. It also said that historians believe that as many as 300 people were killed during the massacre. So this is a little known Black history facts that a lot of people don't know about, that in school that you're not taught about, but that's a problem. This is why I said that I created the Black Dot blog, because it is very important that our history is not written over, is not forgotten about, because that's what's happening with these laws in places like Florida. And if this man becomes president, it might be in every US state where our children or even just adults don't learn about Black history and Black culture and where we came from, or just what our ancestors had to go through. So I really urge you to do your own research and to go look up the history and the story of the Tulsa Race Massacre. I just read something that said that the oldest survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre just released a memoir. So maybe you can go purchase that and you can learn more about it from their own firsthand experience. Moving on with more things that are going on, that has been going on, keeping it current. Let's talk about Senator Tommy Tuberville. Now, if you've heard past episodes, you heard the audio of what the man said. This is the gentleman, if you're not familiar, who said he's a senator, U.S. senator, elected by the people. He said that President Biden is trying to destroy the U.S. military by trying to get rid of white supremacists and extremists. This is what he said. And the interviewer said, is that a problem that Biden is trying to get rid of them? Is that an issue? And Tommy said, you guys call them supremacists and extremists, and I call them Americans. That's what he said. So this is a gentleman. So he's been making those type of comments here lately, and his brother has something to say. So his brother Charles took to Facebook, and this is what his brother had to say. Due to recent statements by him promoting racial stereotypes, white nationalism, and other various controversial topics, I feel compelled to distance myself from his ignorant, hateful rants. What I'm trying to say is that I do not agree with any of the vile rhetoric coming out of his mouth. Please do not confuse me with my brother. Please do not confuse my brother with me. Thanks, Charles Tuberville. Now, through my stumbling, you still got the point that his brother Charles said, don't link me with Tommy. I don't want no parts of Tommy. I don't want to be dealing with that, because what I read is that Charles, he's a musician. So don't cancel my sales or make me have to cancel shows because people think that I'm racist because you're making racist comments. Like, I'm not my brother's what he's saying. I'm my own person. Let me be my own person. Don't connect me to him. And right on, because I just told you what Tommy said about the military. If his brother is saying stuff like that, I too will want to distance myself. A lot of times I found this so surprising, because a lot of times people call out their people in private. They don't really do it publicly and say, I don't really think that was cool. They shouldn't have said that. They will handle it privately. Like, we, the public, would never know that their family member or associate had a problem with something that they did. This is one of those few exceptions, especially in a Republican way, where a family member has come out and said, I'm not jacking it. I'm not rocking with that. That's not cool. I'm not with it. And salute to Charles. Told y'all I'm keeping it light. So let's move on to sports. We're going to talk quite a bit about Angel Reese today. Not quite a bit, but a little bit. I'm not talking about the video that she was in, even though kudos to her. Again, she's getting to the bag. I want to talk about another aspect of these NIL deals. So in the last episode, we talked about Angel Reese and these NIL deals because news came out that she signed an ambassador deal with a very popular Black hair care brand. So that just caused me to do some research and to do a deep dive. And I discovered that she's really been in her bag with these deals. And I also discovered that she's not the only one, that quite a few of these college athletes are getting to the bag with these deals. So on the last episode, I read y'all all the ways that they can now make money off their name and likeness, and how the NCAA essentially made this legal, where these athletes can do it and not lose, eligibility, or not be able to not play or things like that. So we talked about that, and now I have an update for you. So a University of Missouri football coach said he really don't like these deals. He has a problem with it. I found this to be very ironic. He said that with these NIL deals, that these college athletes are making more than doctors. He said, in fact, his brother is a pediatrician, and that these athletes with these NIL deals make more than his brother-in-law. That's what he said. So of course, the good people, the good researchers, fact checkers did some homework, and they discovered that this year, for this season, that this coach will make $6 million. Now, I find that to be very ironic, because I'm sure that his salary is more than what his brother-in-law is making, and probably more than what maybe college athletes total NIL deals will maybe be $6 million. His one salary is $6 million. That's saying something. Pretty ironic. It's just hating. To me, just trying to find another way to control. These college athletes are finally getting control of their own destiny, of their own power, creating opportunities for themselves, because before, their choices in where they were going to hoop or maybe play sports at was based in just the overall goal and what they can do in the grand scheme of things for their future. If it's not so much based in that, if I can get money like another way for my name and likeness, and I'll just have to, based off college, just get into the league, whether it's NFL or NBA or WNBA, I can just find another way I can make a different choice. So it seems like he has a problem with it. I believe Nick Saban also had a problem with these deals and what it means, and with the college athletes and buying the players, and all these players was having charges in Alabama allegedly. So I don't know, sounds like this coach is hating, just like I believe Nick Saban was hating. In more sports, speaking more about Angel Reese. Do y'all remember the Barstools dude who said that Angel Reese was a classless piece of SHIT during the whole Caitlin Clark and that you can't see me, all of that? That guy, the founder of Barstool. So that guy, Dave, He's now done something else where if you're Black, you're like, I don't know about that. It's been reported that he has hired an employee who rapped the N-word at his new watch company. So the story is this employee was fired after he was rapping the N-word. He was rapping a song and he said the N-word during a live broadcast. So with that being said, Barstool fired him. Not very surprising. I told y'all about the news anchor who was on the air and said, "Fo shizzle my nizzle." She got fired too. You can't say that. I told y'all last week about things that happened like WTF update. The baseball anchor broadcaster who on accident, I think the man genuinely messed up. He said he was trying to say the Negro League Museum, and he said hard ER League Museum. I told y'all, that man lost his job too. So when you say the N-word, you're gonna lose your job. So the man lost his job. Apparently, Barstool Dave had a problem with it. He didn't like it. He openly spoke out against it. So he decided he's gonna hire the man at his new watch company. Now, if you compile that with the H. Reed's classless piece of SHIT comments, now you rehire the employee who said the N-word, even though it's not at Barstool, it's at your other company, your watch company. I get that, but it just still feels like racist. I don't know. So moving on to something else that may be, I don't know, not might be, definitely is racist. Now, excuse me, I don't know anything about football, about soccer. I don't know anything about it. I'm not familiar. I don't watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I only stumbled across this because it was on my timeline, and it was just in relation to, being a Black person. That's very dear to my heart. I read any story when it's in relation pretty much to Blackness, a Black story, just things of that nature. So I saw something about a Brazilian soccer player, Vinicius Jr. So he's been subjected to quite a bit of racist behavior while he's been playing games. I believe it's called La Liga. I believe that's how you say it for all the people that know soccer. Excuse me if I said it wrong. So while he's been playing the Real Madrid. So I think that's the other name for it. They've been doing the fans have been doing a lot of things that are racist. I seen the video. It was a compilation video where they put together a whole bunch of different events. So different incidents I seen, it was a Black soccer player. He was pretty much the only Black player. And the fans were making monkey noises. They were in fact calling him a monkey. And if they were riding through the town for the video, just the clips were just the actual town where the tournament or the game was going on, and over a bridge, there was like a prop that was supposed to be him, and it was hanging from a bridge. So these are the types of things that this man has been going through. It's not just on one occasion. Apparently, every time he's been playing this one particular team, this is what he's been dealing with. So finally, things came to a head. He got enough of it. So during the game, a fan or some fans were again calling him a monkey and making the sounds, and he said something to him. First, he said something to a ref like, "Hey, these refs are making these noises. They're calling me a monkey." The ref then disregarded it. So finally, when the player responded, like, "Y'all playing with me," he was thrown out of the game. This is when it became a big story that I learned about, because he spoke out, and a lot of his fellow players and his coach spoke out when he was thrown out of the game. So he said, "The prize that the racists won was my sending off. It's not football, it's La Liga." So what I concluded from this, and the same thing that I concluded when I believe during last year's I don't know how to say, tournament, when soccer was very popular and a lot of people was talking about it. Argentina was brought up, and how there are not a lot of Black people in Argentina, and just the whole history of maybe how Black people were gotten rid of in the country of Argentina. So that's something I'm going to have to research. And this just made me think about this, where it doesn't matter what country you are, if you have dark skin, if you appear to be Black, it just seems like you're going to have to deal with just racist behavior. And it's just really sad. This man is trying to do his job, whether he was or he's not. He's trying to do his job, and he has fans, a whole pretty much town, like arena of people chanting, "You're a monkey," calling him a monkey and making monkey noises. Like, I don't see how that's okay. Like, it broke my heart. And then seeing the prop of him hanging from a bridge, what was supposed to be him hanging from a bridge. That's deep. So something needs to be done about that. I'm not a soccer enthusiast. I don't watch it, but for those that are familiar with it, correct me on tell me how it's supposed to be pronounced and keep your eyes on that. Because clearly these are the things that are going on in this world, unfortunately. Now let's lighten it up. Did you guess? Well, former NFL running back said that he used to get high before the games. Okay, I'm here to tell you. It is Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell said that he used to get high before the games. Can you believe that? I would think of all the sports, like football and hockey are just two sports that I just would not roll up. Like, I'm gonna have to wait. After the game, definitely rolling up. Before the game, I want to be focused on my plays. I need to be focused on that. I'm not getting hit that much. To me, I'm kind of lacking if I'm rolling up prior to, but apparently he was rolling up. And by the comments that I seen on this post, he not the only one. Quite a few athletes said we do it too. He just the only one that came out and said, I used to roll up. So in learning about this, I did my research and finding out, are you even supposed to be smoking or getting high while you're active on an NFL roster? And I found that the NFL is called the No Fun League because there are a lot of penalties and policies in place against cannabis. Really, players are not supposed to be getting high. It's really not allowed. And then from stumbling into the NFL, I came across the NBA, where recently, from the new collective bargaining agreement between the NBA and the National Players Association, any and all marijuana testing for players has been excluded. So for me, that tells me they better be rolling up big time prior, during, and after the game. Because if you're not testing for it, they pretty much might as well, because Le'Veon Bell already said he was doing it. So I'm sure basketball players are doing it. Like, I just assume so. So I found that to be pretty interesting. Last but not least, in sports, let's talk about these sports players, these NBA hoopers that are going overseas. Now, maybe this was something that was going on already. I just didn't pay attention, but it seems like here recently, quite a bit of pretty decent NBA players are going overseas. So we got Dwight Howard. I'm sure y'all seen those videos. Almost each round when somebody got knocked out, he'd be like, James Harden, why don't you come over here? LeBron, why don't you come over here? AD, why don't you come over here overseas? So I was like, wait, Dwight Howard actually plays overseas. And in fact, he plays in China. And again, researching, I found out Boogie Cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, he plays in Puerto Rico. I also found out that Lance Stevenson, the one that used to always mess with LeBron, he also used to play overseas. So I think it's this new thing where the NBA is just like, if you're not good, we're just not signing you, I guess. Or if you're just past your prime, you're just not getting signed. I think that it was really dirty how they did Melo. I'm not happy with it. It also makes me think about Chris Bosh. Whatever happened? It seemed like it was the big three, and then LeBron left, and then D Wade eventually left, and then Chris Bosh couldn't pass a physical waiver, and then no more Chris Bosh, and then Melo, he's just gone. It's just what's happening. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the end of the episode. But before we get there, let me tell you all the things that had me like WTF, because it's been quite a few things. The very first thing, did y'all see the New York City lawyer who then lost his job after he took the black lady wig off? Now, I'm going to tell you, as a recent wig wearer, It is absolutely foul to take somebody's wig off. Male, female, white, black, purple. You're not supposed to take nobody's wig off. That's a violation. If you take a black woman wig off, that's just not okay. So this man has lost his job. I don't know what he thought this was, but his employer said, you cannot work here. They put out a statement. They said, we have been made aware of a video of a non-work related incident involving one of our associates circulating on social media. We take seriously any inappropriate behavior by any employee, whether inside or outside the workplace. They not playing with him. This associated is no longer with the firm. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Keeping with New York. Now this, I'm going to have to research because it indeed sounds fishy. The New York City Department of Corrections said they are no longer going to tell the media when an incarcerated person dies. So apparently, abruptly, they just stopped telling the media when someone that's incarcerated dies. And when they were questioned about it, they said, quote, that was a practice, not a policy. Now, I may be like, okay, maybe you don't have the staff to simply make the notification, to make the post. I don't know. Inflation, you don't have a lot of money for these jobs. I don't know, I'm trying to cut them some bail. I would have thought that, but I've been hearing quite a bit about Rikers Island and how a lot of inmates have been getting treated unfairly. It's dirty, it's not good. So maybe there's some connection there and you just don't want people to know what's going on in there. So I'm going to have to do my research. I don't know, Mayor Adams, stuff is sounding fishy. Something else that's sounding fishy and I just don't get it. I'm not getting it. State Farm has said they are no longer accepting insurance applications in California, citing the growing risk of wildfires. Now, ain't that the whole point of insurance when catastrophic things like natural disasters or car accidents happen, you're supposed to be covered, you don't have to pay for it? Ain't that the whole point? So now State Farm is like, we don't want to help. I think that's just really sad. Shame on you, State Farm. Shame on you. Kudos to Philadelphia. Philadelphia said no more shiesty masks. They have banned the shiesty mask on a bus and trains. Now, if you're not familiar, it's the mask that the rapper Pooh Shiesty used to wear, kind of had their face covered. I don't know why you would be wearing it. It's summertime, it's 90 degrees. So this is right on to them because if I see somebody walking in with a shiesty mask on during this weather, I'm going to walk out because what's really going on here? Like what you got going on here? Speaking more of what you really got going on here. Texas, Texas, Texas. Now, during the pandemic, I did start to wonder what would be the long-term effects of the kids, even me, anybody with schooling, because schooling changed. We had distance learning, parents had to teach. It just wasn't the traditional learning structure. So I wondered, what are going to be the long-term effects? Are the kids going to know English, math, science? Is everything going to be okay? These are our future presidents and politicians. Are we going to be straight? Well, I'm getting my answers sooner rather than later. A small high school in rural Texas has postponed their graduation ceremony after only 5 out of the 33 graduates, out of the 33 seniors meet the graduation requirements. So out of 33 seniors, only 5 are eligible to graduate. WTF. They don't do progress checks, progress reports, check-ins. How didn't y'all know prior to the end of the school year that only 5 are eligible? That might be a flaw on the administration's part because y'all can't be checking in if you didn't know. Because if you would have caught it midway through, I'm sure that you would have changed something, or was it just too late? WTF. Something else that this is very bizarre, WTF. The whole country of Norway is warning people to stay away from a Russian spy whale. I know, WTF. Apparently, there's this whale that's been seen with a harness on it. And on the harness, there is a camera. So after doing some discovery and some research, these experts believe that this whale has been trained by the Russian military. WTF is going on where the Russian military is training whales to be spies? Like, guys, that's all the things that have me like WTF for today's episode. Cause I can't, like, we're training whales to be spies at this point. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I enjoy recording it. Hope that you catch me here, same place, same time, for a new episode of HeavieTalk. This was HeavieTalk, straight talk with no chaser.